Welcome to the Cliff Diver's Edge, taking you from unhappy to passionately, joyously happy within 30 days. What big dominoes are you going to topple over? The phenomenon of dominoes falling in a chain reaction is a powerful metaphor for understanding how big, heavy, consistent actions can lead to effortless, toppling outcomes in various aspects of your life. So let's discuss why the second and third dominoes fall easily and take with them the next 50, 100, 200, 500 dominoes in your life. This is going to be really, really exciting. And we're going to sort of dive into how this concept can be applied to the achievement of goals in every aspect of your life, whether it's relationships, finances, careers, community, and outreach. What a beautiful topic for today, dominoes, but also looking at like energy and working on how momentum happens in life, right? When we accomplish something, the next thing gets easier and we get that momentum and that energy to say, whoa, we can do it, right? And there's a lot of ways I could have started and written out, this podcast, and a lot of different aspects we can do to scale up our lives, to become a little happier, to build up that self-esteem and that self-image of ourselves, to say, hey, I can accomplish this, right? To take some of the fears, some of our smaller fears on a 1 meter or 2 meter, and then take it up to a 5 or 7 or 10 meter. We were talking about accomplishing big things. When I would do dives off of higher springboards or platforms, it would make me more radiant, more confident. I'd go down to the lower springboards and platforms and do different dives without fail, right? Without struggle, but with that mindset of certainty. So how powerful that is. There was a study done in Australia years ago, and it took the research of men and women over the age of 90 in nursing homes. And the study proved that a person will live 2 to 5 years longer if they have a goal written on their calendar in the next 6 months to 1 year. How fascinating is that? Just understanding that if we have something on the calendar in 6 months or 1 year, doesn't mean we have to like train for it every day, but it propels us, right? It's something we're looking forward to, consciously, when we're sleeping, when we're waking up, when we're at work, right? We're thinking about that like over and over and over. Just that little concept of writing in what can we put on our calendar 6 months from now? Right? What can we put on our calendar next year, right? Next December, next, summer, just by having something to tackle, to work towards, a target in the future, something to aim to for. Being a master diver, I always huddled up our diving group after each practice and verbally went around and discussed each person diving's goals and their target for the next week or the next month. So, what did this do? So, number one, it made our attendance rate increase and our cancels and our no-show rate vastly decline. Number two, which is very interesting and even more powerful, is the divers came back to the next session more focused and surpassed their once unachievable goals, right? Sometimes we'd go around and we'd say, well, I can't do that. Well, I'd like you to do, so and so and so and so and so. And then we'd be like, well, you sure? I've never done that before. So they all came back, more confident, and some even surpassed their unachievable goals, all because we huddled up and we set expectations and goals, almost like the Australia study, right? They put something on the calendar. And for the next 6 days, or if we do our some diving practices and events, we do every month. So for 30 days, divers would think and prepare or like practice and get ready for that upcoming dive session, and not necessarily like putting in a lot of practice, but just by putting that goal and that date, on the calendar. Just, wow. All by setting in our minds next week goals and this month's targets. In Australia's study, this was like a visit from a church member could go on that calendar, a visit from a family member they're looking forward to. It could be like a theater or a park where they planned events for that, like a picnic. Or it could have been like going to the recreation center for aquatic activities. Something that was put on the calendar that they could look forward to, right? The mind is saying, hey, I want to live another day, right? I want to live another week because I got this event coming up, yeah, just in 4 days, right? Or next week. The domino effect. This phenomenon can be applied to various aspects of life, including school, relationships, music, learning, finances, investing, goal setting, and achieving accomplishments. Not to mention what it can do for everything we've applied to just being happier for the cliff diving edge, right? Taking you from unhappy to passionately, radiantly happy, right? Doing one thing we love every day, building up our ikigai and building that domino effect every day. What does that turn out to in 6 months, in a year, where we're happy, where we look forward to coming home and doing that one thing we love doing, playing the piano, singing, playing the guitar, sewing, knitting, cooking, whatever your craft is, whatever makes your heart and your soul sing, right? Just building those dominoes effects. In the Cliff Diver's Edge, we have applied the domino effect to waking up and doing the 1 to 2 things that you love and are passionately about and bring you excitement the very first 10 seconds upon waking up in the morning. We have applied the domino effect to grabbing your makeup mirror and your selfie cell phone and camera to talk to yourself. I love myself. I'm so pretty. I love being me. I'm so grateful for having these beautiful eyes and this glowing, radiant smile. We applied it to setting goals and taking those 20 seconds to take action swiftly, piercing the foggy mist, getting you over sitting on the fence, complacency, mindset, and avoiding making decisions. When we take that initial step towards a goal, it can create a momentum that propels us forward. The momentum is like the dominoes falling, and once it starts, it becomes increasingly difficult to stop. You ever see those rows in the Guinness Book of Records of dominoes? Halfway through it, it's just cruising, right? Even if you put your finger through it, you know, the dominoes with it will hit your finger and jump over, and it'll still hit the next one and still keep going. So it's amazing what happens when we set this mindset and this momentum up. It's like once it starts, it becomes increasingly very, very difficult to stop. Setting a goal for running a marathon, biking, mountain climbing, things like that. Push or crash through the first biggest one, then damn, life and gravity and momentum topple the rest of the next 3, 5, 100, 500 dominoes. Your goals, your checkpoints, your progress appointments, your tests, your finals, your graduations. For those of you that aren't too familiar with cliff diving or diving, springboards are made up of a lot of elastic materials. So the first hop onto a springboard creates a little bounce. But what it does with the material, it starts vibrating, right? And so we do a little bounce. And then the next bounce, we do a little higher bounce. So we get this board doing this, right? Small, and then it gets bigger, just like what we're talking about right now, momentum, the domino effect. So basically, this little bounce creates a rebound. And then that little spring in that material, it gets bigger and bigger and stronger. So at once a small little hop, it magnifies and it catapults the diver into the air, into your aerial escapade. And it often is super high. It's like 10 feet, sometimes even higher than the actual springboard in the material, the board itself, that you use to shoot you diving through the air. Think back to the time where you outperformed a goal or a task just because you put it on a calendar. You set the date, and then day after day you were looking forward to it. You took a few minutes each day to acknowledge the goal and not really like putting any practice, preparation, or rehearsal into it, but just setting that date. What was it? What was the event? Was it with your husband or your wife? Was it like a physical activity, like a gym workout or repainting the kitchen? What made it easier for you than you expected? What made you far over accomplish your goal? Shoot them in the comments below if you have a chance, down below. What were your goals? And when was the last time you put something on the calendar? And when that day came, it was just so much easier, effortless, and you accomplish it with so much like radiance and so much beauty. Did you throw your comments down below? What made you feel so far like accomplished or like over your goals? Like you cooked a beautiful feast for everyone, like on a Sunday or a holiday, and just everyone just loved it. And there were like so many smiles and compliments from the kids, from the neighbors, from the in-laws. You were just like overjoyed, and it turned out better than expected. Take the time to write in a few comments below. What was that activity? What was that little goal that you put on the calendar? That when that day came, it was far superior than you ever imagined. Why does a second and third domino fall easier and take with it the next 100, 200, 500 dominoes? Well, the first reason is going to be momentum, right? The initial push for that first domino creates a force that carries over to the subsequent dominoes. This momentum makes it easier for each domino to fall, leading to a chain reaction. And that's what we really want to focus in on today, right? A chain reaction. How my action 30 minutes ago affected the next activity that's not even related to it, right? A chain reaction. Eat the frog and do the hardest, toughest thing first, and the rest all a breeze. Seeing those big dominoes where there's thousands of dominoes you gotta push, sometimes that they put it up where that weight of that first domino is like heavy, right? So it's, it gives it that good push. Number two, proximity. The closer the dominoes are to each other, the more they are to fall over when the previous domino topples on top of it or upon it. For the domino principle to work, you need a series of a lot of goals and challenges to topple over. We just can't have one big domino sitting in the middle of a living room. So the dominoes you lay out for yourself have this, what we call interconnectedness. What a great word we're using for today, interconnectedness. How one of my actions, right as soon as you wake up in the morning, affects something right after, and then affects the next, that interconnectedness. So it has this interconnectedness of how one or the one before it has an immense effect on the next one right next to it. Big actions topple small actions. Domino by domino can lead to significant progress when they are closely linked and aligned. So let's break this down like visually. I set up one big domino or goal or a challenge for the week or the day. And as soon as I accomplish that and complete it, or like mission accomplished, I immediately go right on to the second domino, the second one, quickly and effortlessly using the interconnectedness momentum to work with the laws of the universe, and the laws of the world. Momentum to push over number two, then number three, then number four. Right, even in those Guinness Book of World Records with the dominoes, you don't push over the dominoes and then there's spaces and pauses. Sometimes I've seen where some people will accomplish one or two goals, then they'll take a break, and they'll take a break for a week or like a month or a year. I was just reading that one business owner sold his business for, I think it was like $80 million or something. And for the next year, he didn't do anything. All right, he missed that struggle, that push, that energy of running a business, and the challenges and the beautiful aspects of the business. Day in and day out, day in and day out. So selling a business for $80 million, what can you get in right next to? So we're talking about proximity, making sure that second goal is as quick and swift as that first one. The third goal, we're jumping right into it. What I would do is I would do a dive, and I would do it on the 3 meter. It had a lot of spring to it, so he could catapult me in the air. When I did that dive, I would take it up to the 5 meter. The 5 meter was a lot higher, but you're not on a springboard, right? You're just on the perch, on the platform. I would go to the 5 meter and do that dive really, really successfully. It was really cool because you could jump back down to that 3 meter and just have fun and play and do effortless things. So we're talking about hitting big goals. Maybe we're going after like a big goal and really avoided it for a long, long time. You offset it. Maybe it's doing your taxes. Maybe it's setting a play date with your wife or your husband or your significant other, and you put it off. And doing that. So once we do that one, try to do that second one. Try to do that third one. Try not to be like that business owner that sold his business for $80 million and for a year, for 12 months, not getting into anything else, right? Sitting around doing mindless work. When was the last time you had a bunch of goals or tasks on your schedule and you got like 3 or 5 of them done in one day? How great do you feel? What's your energy like? Mentally, what do you feel you can accomplish? Just last week, I had a gym goal, a yard chore goal, and a relationship goal, and all accomplished in one day, like Friday. And I was on a high. I was visually midway through a stack of falling dominoes, right? I was ready to accomplish so much, much more. I was like, what's next? What's next? I can do this. I can do this. All right, you get on that momentum. The third thing we're going to be talking about is weight and size. The weight and size of the dominoes can also influence the chain reactions. Heavier or larger dominoes may require more force to topple, but once they do, they can create more significant impact on the following dominoes. A book author I was reading said that he spent 3 years on a project, but when that project was completed, domino after domino, success after success after success. Put a yearly goal or a 6-month large goal on your calendar and accomplish it. How do you feel? You want what's next, right? The next step, one higher, one tougher, one stronger, one longer. You want to push yourself even further. Are you sad right now and have that firing, burning desire to become passionately happy? Are you looking to tear down the overgrown weeds that have plagued your life to discover your truest path and purpose so you can joyously dive in to your own glowing passion within 30 days? Well, hello, I'm Edison, and inside my metamorphosis from blurred to crystal clear Cliff Divers Edge Academy, I designed a place for you to find your passion and purpose within 30 days. It's for the people looking to take one step, just that small little step towards having a reason, finding and doing what you love, waking up with a zest and a radiance and a purpose and a reason, and radiating the world with your light. And how cool is this? To ultimately give back, shine, and level up the family and friends around you. Inside the Academy answers the questions that men, women, husbands, fathers, wives, mothers, and all single people have about fears, worry, depression, no purpose, hating your job, in a rut, and so much, much more. Each section and module is filled with practical strategies you can use right away in your day to celebrate you and see it dramatically increase your own health, love, strength, and joyous radiance within 30 days. You are worth the work. To check out the program down below. A massive yearly goal should always be put on your calendar. Just as the Australian nursing home study, perhaps it's finishing a course or a graduation. It may be like sewing a full jacket or a backpack, something that's gonna, take you a long time, months. You might put on like a tough mudder race or a marathon. Perhaps it's X amount of dollars donated to your city's youth organization. Large, massive dominoes in your sights, in your far off vision, make you wake up with zest, make you wake up with more like a sense of anticipation. Isn't that pretty cool? Just by putting a little goal on it that says, hey, October, blah, 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 I got this coming up. In January, blah, 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 I got this coming up. Gives you a little sense of meaning for life, right? A little sense of purpose or something to move forward to, just like the Australia study proved. Something that has your attention, almost like, a target or like a bullseye, X amount of months down the road. Like some days you don't even think about it, but it's scheduled. It's propelling you to outdo yourself in the near future. In this podcast, I wanted to share just some of the successes when applying the domino effect. In life, there's so many successes all around us. Now, it could be somebody in your niche, in your industry that you really like. They're successful, but you see that domino effect, right? You see that natural law of, they accomplish one thing, they're on to the next thing. They accomplish one thing, they're on. It's just this effortless thing. So I created and put together a bunch of, people and successes that we can learn from, but also how they sort of put together this domino effect when accomplishing great things and great successes that we can see. The first one, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey's journey from like a challenging childhood to becoming a media mogul is a testament to the domino effect, right? Even her challenges in early on in her like news field were like a domino. Boom, she accomplished that. Then she scaled up. Then she accomplished that. So each small step she took from excelling in school to landing her first job in media built momentum. All right, her consistent efforts and strategic decisions led to the creation of a media empire. Oprah's story shows how aligning small, consistent actions with long-term goals can lead to monumental success. John Maxwell, I believe, is one of the number one leadership experts in the United States. And I know he emphasizes a lot on the importance of daily habits. He believes in large, intentional actions compounded over time to produce significant results. And once we hit that one big, large thing, like that business owner, the book author that took 3 years to accomplish. Once we accomplish something so big, right, how it could domino effect the rest of our life. Maxwell's teachings on leadership and personal growth highlight how setting and achieving small goals, big goals, large goals, goals that we didn't even think we could accomplish last year. Setting these goals can lead to large accomplishments in life. Not only that, but how it can impact our community, our wife, our children, the people we work with, the city we're around, some of the people, what we call like our inner circle, our friends, our family, or who we're doing events with, right? How that can impact, our circles of life. So Maxwell's books and his seminars inspire millions to adapt his domino effect mindset. Then I wanted to touch on a lot of people like myself are inspired by the domino effect, but also when you see somebody succeed, but then they succeed the next year, and then they succeed the following year, And then even a few years later, they're still setting records. Is just phenomenal. Kobe Bryant has always been a great sort of like mentor or like somebody to look up for me. So I put Kobe Bryant into this. His relentless work ethic and dedication to improvement are a prime example of the domino effect in action. I remember seeing some of his practices, and he was screaming at the players and the coaches to say that this is in practice, right? This is a game, right? So he was always in that game mode. If we're not going to practice in game mode, then we're never going to be ready for the game. And no wonder he won 5 championships. So by focusing on daily practice and always like improving, he built a career that included 18-time All-Star, 15-time member of the NBA All-Team, and 12-time member of the All-Defensive Team, and of course 5 NBA championships. So Kobe Bryant's approach to setting and achieving small, large, and long-term incremental goals helped him reach the pinnacle of his career and his sports career, and long lived as probably one of the best players that ever played the game of basketball. Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls. How do you win one and then you win another? And what's the mindset on that? But it's energy as well, because once you accomplish 1 and 2 and 3, I think he accomplished 7, right? 7 Super Bowls for Tom Brady. Just that law of what we were calling that interconnectedness. How he talks to his teammates, how he practices, how he starts with his game day. There's probably so many what we would call like systems involved for Tom Brady. But his total career is marked by the ability to achieve both short-term and long-term goals. His focus on physical fitness, mental preparation, and teamwork has led the Patriots to 17 division titles, 13 AFC championship games, and 9 Super Bowl appearances, and 7 Super Bowl victories. Brady's story illuminates how the domino effect can be applied to sports, where each practice session, game, and season builds toward the ultimate success, right? That Super Bowl victory. Next year, Super Bowl victory. Goes down to Tampa Bay, Super Bowl victory, right? That interconnectedness, what we're talking about. So, use whatever stories and what other people are around you that inspire. These might not inspire you, but you can also shoot down in the comments down below here at the Cliff Diver's Edge. Right, I'm a cliff diver, but a lot of these stories are football players, soccer player, Oprah Winfrey, a media mogul, or Lionel Messi. I think he's still dominating the game, right? He moved to Miami. Now he's with Miami, but he was with Barcelona. He won the World Cup in 2022 with his team there. So widely regarded as the greatest player to ever play the sport of soccer, football. Lionel Messi. He won a record of 8 Ballon d'Ors, 6 European Golden Shoes, and was named the world's best player for a record 8 times by FIFA. Messi is the most decorated player in the history of soccer, football, with 44 team trophies with Barcelona, including La Liga titles, 7 Copa del Rey titles, and the UEFA Championships Leagues 4 times. And then playing for Argentina's national team, he won the Copa America titles and the 2022 FIFA World Cup, right? When he won the World Cup, I was even watching that World Cup. I was like, wow, to have that interconnectedness. How can that inspire you day in and day out? How can that inspire you if you're watching this and listening to this and it's sort of late night and maybe it's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock? How can it inspire you tomorrow to set up such a huge domino? Maybe you can't accomplish it in a day. Maybe it's going to take teamwork and employees or people around you to accomplish in certain tasks. But almost like that book author, 3 years of working and pushing for that. And then, boom, success, domino, toppled over, toppled over, toppled over. So hopefully those success stories help you and inspire you in some big ways. Let's go right into some of these principles. So laying out the principles here for the Cliff Diver's Edge for this domino effect. We're gonna use this principle in just what we covered earlier. So we're gonna have write out big three dominoes, like your top goals. Now, these are the daring cliff jumps. You know, these would be like the 10-meter goals, some of the audacious goals that propel you forward. Maybe you put them off for a while. Maybe there's things that you were sitting on the fence of for so long. Some health things, some weight loss goals, some relationship goals, things like that. These are the big three that eat the frog. So write them out and put them on your phone or on your poster board or wherever you need to inspire you, right? And these are your most important and potentially daunting tasks, right? These are going to be the heavy dominoes, right? The frogs are the biggest, heaviest domino that's going to be in front of the 200 or the next 500 small goals, the small dominoes in your life. Write them down with a fierce belief that you will accomplish them. You're right, you already accomplished them. Use what we talked about earlier, okay? And we're going to re-outline this. Momentum. Make these big goals the ones you've been procrastinating on for a long, long time. Make them big goals. Use whatever you can to, really like focus on and write them in for your big goals. Then we were talking about proximity. So we want to set times to get these like accomplished. And then we want to keep them very, very close. So one topples and right on top of the other one, that interconnectedness, right? The second one's affected by the first one. The third one is affected by the second one and the first one. And then we have weight and size. So remember, the author that took 3 years to accomplish that goal. And when he did, success, success, success. So use your pain and your struggles and your avoidance, your fear, and put it into your first or maybe even your first two massive goals, your first two dominoes that are going to be on the front end of the whole series of your dominoes, your life, right? Your next 6 months, your next year. And then have the laws of the universe, the domino effect, and the laws of momentum propel you for your next day, your week, and your month. Remember to celebrate small wins. So recognize and celebrate your first achievements. Nothing beats self-esteem better than accomplishing certain things. After a gym workout, even though you didn't hit your fitness goals, right, your long-term fitness goals, what would you like to do? What your weight is on the scale, what you look like in the mirror. But after that workout, that 1.5 hour workout that you really put in the hard work, did some really tough exercise to burn and to firm up your body. Well, what did it do to you as your eyes lit up when you looked in the mirror? Say, I like myself. Wow, I feel so good, right? We're just guzzling that water and replenishing your body, right? And just feeling electric. So this will help you keep motivated and reinforce the positive impact of your efforts. So celebrating small wins, just a short snack, just a really quick run around the office, an ice bath. Celebrate you and use whatever little small gifts or little celebratory actions to massively affect the dominoes. Momentum to fall on the very next 30 minutes or the next domino goal. Learn from role models. Get your own role models. Everyone's inspired by different people. Look to success individuals like we mentioned above, like Oprah Winfrey, John Maxwell, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady, and Lionel Messi for inspiration and how they use that interconnectedness, right? They have one success leads to another success, like Lionel Messi won all those championships with Barcelona, but then how to win the World Cup is just a feat far and grander than that alone. So, just by understanding and applying the principles of the domino effect, you can set and achieve massive goals that lead to domino after domino after domino of progress in your relationships, your finances, your careers. There's like 5 different categories and goals, right? Your community, your outreach, whatever comes up to mind. And remember, every domino that topples over counts. And you can create a powerful chain reaction towards your ultimate success. By structuring your goals this way, you tap into the power of the top to bottom domino effect, the eat the frog strategy. The toughest first and second, and then as we focus and somehow we get it done, the next domino easier, and the next one easier, effortless, momentum, combined with the visualization techniques of a seasoned cliff diver, you set up rituals that last forever. Each domino falling propel you forward with unstoppable momentum. Each domino falling propels you forward with unstoppable momentum. We learned a lot here today on momentum, on interconnectedness, and how we're going to be setting up those big dominoes for us so the rest of your goals and accomplishments just fall easily and effortlessly. Thank you for being you and honoring your truest self, right? Taking that one step here and listening to this podcast here today, right? Going from unhappy to radiantly happy. Just taking one more step towards, happiness. And today we're talking about goals and domino effects. So hopefully you learned a lot today and this was very, very valuable, to you. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Cliff Diver's Edge. It will be the best investment you've had this year alone. And I hope you got a lot of value from this. So let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to hear your questions and respond so we could scale up everyone's life here. So type down below your comments, thoughts, feedbacks, which dominoes you have personally toppled and conquered, and how it affected your inner circle of your life and your next goals and accomplishments that month. If you see another comment that you like, please respond to it, just helping everyone here scale up somehow every aspect of their life here in the Cliff Diver's Edge. And I'll see you next time on the cliff.